Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode I'll be chatting with you guys about something from Alex Ng called Star Shatter, released by Henry Harris Presents. So hi again guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for spending some time with me today. So on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you about a magic effect. This is something called Star Shatter that is put out by Alex Ng. And I have done a couple of episodes for Alex previously, things like Super Lemon and Totem as well. So do have a look at them on my channel. So let's get down to what is Star Shatter. Okay, so Star Shatter is kind of like a kicker effect, something that you can perform immediately after you do a routine such as Stargazer. Okay, Stargazer from Alan Wong, that was released really many years ago, and at one time it was really a popular effect that I would see many magicians performing. And if you're not familiar with the Stargazer effect, well, you would perform basically the Crazy Man's Handcuffs, okay, that was popularized by Michael Amar, and from there, right, you would kind of make a couple of star shapes, all right, with the rubber bands, and then eventually you would transform one of the bands into a star-shaped rubber band, okay, which you can then give away to your spectator as a little souvenir. And Star Shatter takes that effect and pushes it just a little bit further by having you transform, I suppose, the other band, all right, into a whole bunch of small stars, okay, and they kind of seem to explode onto the table, hence the name Star Shatter. So let's talk a little bit about what you get with this package, okay. So you get it in this box over here, and I think it's maybe using the fonts from Star Wars. I think Star Shatter, it looks like the font from Star Wars, but I'm not really sure because Alright, but yes, the Star Shatter package comes to you in this box, and along with the package, you will get a link to a tutorial video, right, which runs for about half an hour. And on the video itself, there will be an introduction to the project with Alex as well as Henry. There will be a studio performance of the effect from start to finish, so you can see how the effect plays out in performance. Alex and Henry will then break down the effect for you. They will introduce to you the props that you receive, and also how to do the setup, all right, that is necessary for the routine. They will then teach you the routine as well, and Alex will go through a couple of handling options to perform the effect, as well as different ways as well to hold out the effect as well just before you perform the routine. So inside the package, you will actually receive a couple of items, okay? So let's have a look at them. You'll receive, a packet of the regular shaped rubber bands, okay? I believe you get like 10 of these, okay, rubber bands to perform the Crazy Man's Handcuffs. You will then get, I believe, about 20 of these. Can't get this open. You will then get 20 of these star-shaped bands, okay, to perform the initial transformation, as per the original Stargazer effect. And then you will get about, 200, I think, of these tinier little stars, okay? And these are the stars that are used in the kind of explosion effect at the end of the routine. So Stargazer for me brings back a lot of memories, a lot of bittersweet memories actually. I first saw this effect performed to me by a Singaporean magician by the name of Jeremy Pei, sometime in 1999 actually, at a magic convention that we attended in Hong Kong. And we were sat in a lounge, in the hotel, and Jeremy actually performed this effect for me. Now I knew of Jeremy, but we weren't like friends at that point. And he performed this effect for me. And the moment when this part of the effect happened and the star appeared, it was quite a shocking moment for me. And that was the moment actually that Jeremy and I became very good friends. So this effect does bring back a lot of bittersweet memories for me because in August of this year, Jeremy passed, and it was actually quite a difficult time for me, just dealing with the loss of a dear friend, and a giant in the Singapore magic, circuit and community. And so, yeah, I mean, just, well, just remember the people close to you, cherish them, treasure them, and always, remember their contributions to you, however big or small. But anyhow, well, let's get down to the effect. Okay, so initially you would perform the crazy man's handcuffs, okay, the unlinking rubber bands effect for your spectator, and then at the end of that sequence, you would transform one of these bands into a star rubber band. All right, in a spectator's hands, and anything that happens in a spectator's hands obviously makes for really strong magic. Okay, I'm sure all of you close-up workers out there will know this. And then what's interesting about this routine is that Alex actually structures the routine in such a way that you would get or kind of induce someone to ask whether they too can have one of the star-shaped bands, right? And at the end of the routine, you apparently still have one of these bands with you. And that is when you can rise up to the challenge and meet their request, and transform this into like a whole bunch of these tiny little stars, okay? And from there, you can kind of give out a couple, and then you end the routine there. So what do I like about this? Well, the Crazy Man's handcuffs is kind of like a staple, for close-up workers, right? It uses really, ordinary looking props. It's just rubber bands, and the effect is really strong as well, and, for myself, right, I have performed it many times in the times when I was doing, close-up mingling magic. And then, when Stargazer came along, you had a really interesting and nice kind of follow-up effect that you could perform as well, right? With the two rubber bands, changing one of them into this star-shaped band and giving it away to your spectator, right? And then now, you have another way, or rather something else that you can kind of plug into your routine, your Stargazer routine, by, visually just splitting the remaining band into a whole bunch of tiny little stars. And that sequence at the end, when the band kind of, explodes or shatters into a whole bunch of stars, is really visual, and I can picture it playing quite well for a lay audience. So yeah, it's a really commercial, really practical routine. In terms of practicality on that point, right, there is kind of like a bit of a setup, okay, that you will have to do, going into the routine, okay? And for that, you are provided another thing, all right, another gimmick that comes along with the set that enables you to perform the load. Okay, I think I can say that the load sequence, to kind of perform the explosion effect at the end. Okay, now that is something that I thought was quite clever. The gimmick that comes along with the set, to perform that sequence, the load sequence, but it's not, well, it is used in conjunction with a prop that might not be, shall we say, really welcome in many venues these days, okay? However, Alex does give you a lot of options, all right? In the tutorial, he discusses a whole bunch of ideas, using other objects that you will already carry around as a magician. And those are really viable options as well. I can, see them, working really well for the load sequence of the effect. And well, in terms of reset, because reset is always a consideration for the close-up worker, depending on how you choose to set up this effect, all right, and carrying it on you, you can reset this really quickly, or there may be some reset time for you, okay? It's not difficult, it's just, you have to kind of reload, I suppose, in order to perform the Star Shatter phase at the end, okay? But again, Alex teaches you how to do that, and you can, really reset it in, I don't know, a couple of seconds, 10 seconds maybe, and then you are ready to go again and perform the full routine. But yeah, I see it as a really commercial effect, really strong, really practical as well, and I think it will play really strongly for lay people, because I do know Crazy Man's handcuffs along with the Stargazer effect, they play really well, and adding this on at the end, I'm sure just takes it up a notch. Alright guys, but that's all for today's episode, I think. I hope I've given you enough information about the Star Shatter effect. Again, a really commercial, really practical effect to add into your repertoire, especially if you're already performing, Alan Wong's Stargazer effect. Okay, so I want to thank Henry Harrius, for very kindly sending me a set of this so that I can learn it and chat about it with you guys on this show. If you'd like to pick up a copy of Star Shatter for yourselves, do visit the link in the description box down below. But that's all for today's episode, guys. Do stay safe, take care of yourselves, have fun with your magic and your mentalism, and
I will see you on the next episode of Nique Chats. This is the way.